Have you ever taken antidepressants? And if so, I want to share with you some of the side effects that I have found that come with it. This is not medical advice. You should never stop taking medications without the advice of your doctor. So, hello and welcome. This is Shelly's Everyday Adventures. My name is Shelly, and I'm happy that you're here. I want to do a little dive into this because I've had some issues. I started taking antidepressants. It was Prozac, but I was taking the generic fluoxetine, I believe is the name of it. And my doctor put me on it probably 20 years ago for I was having mood swings and different things. And I would almost say I felt bipolar. I don't think that I was. I had a lot of things going on in my life. But anyway, so he put me on it, and he put me on a low dose. We started out, now a low dose would be 5 milligrams, I guess, but we moved up to 20, and I stayed there for years at 20. And I asked him about the side effects, and his answer to me was, it's as safe as drinking water, basically, is what he told me. And I took him at his word. Now, I love my doctor. He's a good person. But they only are as smart as the information that they are given, okay? So you have to look out for your own welfare, your own health care. So let's dive into this. I started taking them 20 years ago, at a low dose, moved up to 20, stayed at 20 for a long time, and then 2020 hit. And 2020 threw me into a depression because I worried about, what was going to happen, or is the world going to go back to normal? And of course, the answer is no, the world didn't go back to normal, and it never will. But that's a whole different video. So I went to my doctor, and he increased my antidepressants to 40 milligrams. So he doubled it. And as this built up in my system, I started noticing different things. It started with involuntary muscle spasms and muscle twitching. I would wake up in the morning and my tongue would be sore, and it would be, I was biting it was what was happening, but I wasn't sure that that was what was going on because it was happening in my sleep. So I got a little scared, and I went to the dentist, and he checked it out, and he said, well, I'm going to send you to a specialist so that he can look at it, and if it needs a biopsy, we can do a biopsy just to make sure that it's not cancer. So I saw the dentist, then I went to the specialist. The specialist looked at it, and he said, you're biting your tongue. This isn't cancer. This is a behavioral issue. You need to see a behavioral specialist. And he was very arrogant, and he just kind of blew me off. So I left there, and I went and bought myself a mouthpiece. Like they would wear if you were boxing or you were doing karate or any of those things. So I did karate years ago, and we had these mouthpieces. So I bought a mouthpiece to help to stop biting my tongue because it was sore. It was not good. Then I started noticing a random rash, and it stayed with me. And to this day, it's still here a little bit. It's the same color as my skin. It's raised bumps. Sometimes it's itchy, sometimes it's not. I found it on my elbows. I found it on my tops of my feet. So I went to the dermatologist, and the dermatologist checked me out, and he said, there's nothing that could be a problem. So my thoughts were, okay, dermatologist, then I'll go to an allergist. So far, because of, in my opinion, because of the antidepressants, I've been to a dentist, a dental specialist, I've been to my regular doctor, I have been to a dermatologist, and now I am on my way to my asthma allergy doctor. I do have asthma, so my next thought is I must have an allergy to something. Why else would I have a rash? So I go to the allergy asthma specialist, and they did all the tests. Of course, they pricked the skin and did all the tests, and I have no allergies. I'm not allergic to anything. However, I do have asthma. It is a family thing, so it's in the family, and I guess it's hereditary for me. Okay, so they can't find anything. Moving on, the third thing is weight gain. In 2017, I managed to take off about 70 pounds over the couple of years. It took me a couple of years. But by 2020, I was down to 168, which was low for me. I had been up to 250. So the antidepressants caused weight gain, which sent me into a bigger spiral. Then and all of this was happening gradually over a period of time after the increase of the meds. So then it got to the point where I couldn't get to sleep. And once I did get to sleep, I couldn't stay asleep. I had increased anxiety. I know the antidepressants are supposed to help with that, but in some cases, it does exactly the opposite. I noticed it at night. I was sweating, and I thought, well, maybe it's hot flashes. I'm going through menopause, but I didn't do that any other time. I don't know what that was exactly about. I was restless. I had restless leg syndrome. I couldn't just relax. And we'll talk about why all this is in a minute. I started getting stomach and digestive issues. And then, believe this or not, antidepressants, this is the 10th one that I wanted to cover, they can cause inflammation. So, and muscle pain. So I noticed that I was having a hard time getting out of the chair. My muscles hurt. I just had an increase in inflammation all over body-wise. And I thought, to be honest, I thought most of this was due to aging and menopause. Now, I'm sure part of it is, but I'm not convinced that all of it is. So, I went to a gastroenterologist for stomach and digestive issues. They couldn't find anything wrong with me. Now, some people might say that, I'm just, it's all in my head, but it's not, I promise. And did I mention that antidepressants also can cause liver damage? So I have a fatty liver, and I have a friend that is dying from cirrhosis of the liver, and she has the kind, it's not cirrhosis from alcohol, it's cirrhosis from an autoimmune disease that is attacking her liver. So I'm kind of protective of my liver. So I went and I started doing a deep dive on the internet about the side effects of serotonin. Okay, so antidepressants have a serotonin uptake. I don't know all the medical things about it, but I know enough to know that serotonin actually can cause all the symptoms that I just described. So I went to my doctor and I spoke to him about coming off of the antidepressants. And he was reluctant, but he worked with me to lower the dose until I am now finally off of them. It's been a little over a week since I finished taking them. And now I'm going to see what happens to all these side effects that I've been experiencing. Now, again, I cannot stress to you enough, this is not medical advice in any way, shape, or form. You should absolutely never stop a medication without the advice of your doctor, okay? I am just speaking to you about my experience and how I dealt with it. Sometimes the things you are experiencing are not the most obvious. It's not the most obvious reasons that you're experiencing them. So I'm 58. The most obvious thing to blame it on is menopause, of course, and aging, which again, like I said, could be part of it, but I'm going to find out for sure. I'm off of the meds, and I'm under a doctor's care for that, and we're going to see what happens. So this is my story. This is what I wanted to share with you. And I hope it helps somebody. I hope that you realize that even though a doctor may tell you that there are no side effects and everything is fine, that may not necessarily be true, especially for yourself. You can have different reactions to meds that you don't even realize. And also remember that your practitioner is human. He is only working with the information that other humans have provided him. It is not infallible. Do your research, do your homework before you make decisions on your health and your welfare. I will update you later and let you know if these symptoms have subsided, if this is something that may have been caused by the antidepressants. But until next time, I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.